Welcome to Brainstorming Quotes. Let's read and listen to the recitation of famous brainstorming quotes from Charles Darwin, the English naturalist, discoverer and father of the theory of evolution by natural selection. He said, "It is not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent that survives. It is the one that is the most adaptable to change, that lives within the means available and works cooperatively against common threats. The world will not be inherited by the strongest. It will be inherited by those most able to change. Nothing exists for itself alone, but only in relation to other forms of life. A man who dares to waste 1 hour of time has not discovered the value of life. One general law, leading to the advancement of all organic beings, namely, multiply, vary, let the strongest live and the weakest die." In the long history of humankind, and animal kind, too, those who learned to collaborate and improvise most effectively have prevailed. Intelligence is based on how efficient a species became at doing the things they need to survive. With savages, the weak in body or mind are soon eliminated, and those that survive commonly exhibit a vigorous state of health. Man selects only for his own good, nature only for that of the being which she tends. We can allow satellites, planets, suns, universe, nay whole systems of universe, to be governed by laws, but the smallest insect we wish to be created at once by special act. Nothing is easier than to admit in words the truth of the universal struggle for life, or more difficult, at least I have found it so, than constantly to bear this conclusion in mind. At some future period, not very distant as measured by centuries, the civilized races of man will almost certainly exterminate, and replace the savage races throughout the world. We must, however, acknowledge, as it seems to me, that man with all his noble qualities still bears in his bodily frame the indelible stamp of his lowly origin. Man is descended from a hairy, tailed quadruped, probably arboreal in its habits. I am turned into a sort of machine for observing facts and grinding out conclusions. My mind seems to have become a kind of machine for grinding general laws out of large collections of facts. False facts are highly injurious to the progress of science, for they often endure long. But false views, if supported by some evidence, do little harm, for everyone takes a salutary pleasure in proving their falseness. On the ordinary view of each species having been independently created, we gain no scientific explanation. I have called this principle, by which each slight variation, if useful, is preserved, by the term of natural selection. Ignorance more frequently begets confidence than does knowledge. The mystery of the beginning of all things is insoluble by us, and I for one must be content to remain an agnostic. This preservation of favorable variations and the rejection of injurious variations, I call natural selection or the survival of the fittest. The survival of preservation of certain favored words in the struggle for existence is natural selection. Keep steadily in mind that each organic being is striving to increase, that each at some period of its life has the struggle for life, and suffer great destruction. The war of nature is not incessant. The vigorous, the healthy, and the happy survive and multiply. There is grandeur in this view of life, with its several powers, having been originally breathed by the Creator into a few forms or into one. We stopped looking for monsters under our bed when we realized that they were inside us. Much love, much trial. But what an utter desert is life without love. In the struggle for survival, the fittest win out at the expense of their rivals because they succeed in adapting themselves best to their environment. Only the fittest will survive. The most powerful natural species are those that adapt to environmental change without losing their fundamental identity, which gives them the competitive advantage. Freedom of thought is best promoted by the gradual illumination of men's minds which follows from the advance of science. I am not the least afraid to die. Thank you for watching the video. Please subscribe the channel Brainstorming Quotes and get the latest updates at the earliest possible. Only the fittest will survive. Brainstorming Quotes. Read daily, achieve success surely.